Look at the Dow hitting a record high following Fed Chair Jay Powell's remarks this hour, signaling a policy adjustment. Joining us here to unpack what we just heard, Tom Lee, head of research at Fundstrat, chief investment officer of Fundstrat Capital. Good day to be a bull like yourself, Tom.
Yes, it is.
How do you process what we just heard?
Well, I think that it's the Fed acknowledging that the risks now are tilted for the labor market to be softening, and they want to head that off, especially because they don't think that tight labor markets are going to necessarily create inflation. That's a very good sign, and I think it means we have a dovish Fed again, and that's kind of a green light for small caps.
Small caps
and for equities.
They are working. Last I looked, small caps were up 3%. So is this what we need to really confirm the sort of broadening that comes and goes in the market?
Yeah, because I think that one of the things we should watch for is what happens to mortgage rates. But mortgage spreads are right now 360 basis points higher than the 10-year. Historically, it's 1.6 percentage points. So you could see a huge drop in mortgage rates. That's going to help housing, helps the financial small caps. And I think already the ISM, which has been below 50 for almost 30 months now, could finally go back above 50, and that's a good sign for industrials.
Although we had a discussion right on the heels of the speech about a little steepening in the curve. Is there a sense that the vigilantes are at least present, if not being necessarily vocal?
Yeah, but we could also be steepening because growth expectations are improving as well. So this could be like what I'd call a bull steepening. I'm not really sure what the fixed income terms are, but I think it's actually a positive sign for growth.
The only real losers today are going to be some of the yielders and some staples. Would you be cautious on those?
That's right. I think that markets have been holding their breath. They've been getting defensive. That's why we've been bleeding for 5 days. And so now I think there's a relief and some capital gets put to work, and it's good for equities and risk assets.
So, all right, we need to make some news here, Tom. Everyone listens to you. We're at record highs now for the S&P and the Dow. How much more can these stocks rally?
I think there's a lot of upside, especially because, once you get an ISM back above 50, it really does argue for a broadening of markets. And I think one of the leaders probably comes from the financial sector. So I think, towards the end of the year, 6,800, 7,000 is possible.
Led by tech still?
Yeah, so I think you still want to play
this week.
Yeah, you want to be long AI and the crypto trade because those have been the market leaders. So the Mag 7, Bitcoin, Ethereum. But the broadening is really the financials, industrials, and small caps.
So you like them all?
Yeah, it's kind of cyclicals, AI and crypto, but not the defensives.
Your crypto calls have been getting a lot of attention lately, especially on Ether.
Yes.
Where we were talking earlier, we were debating whether it's the future of the financial system. A lot of people are thinking, people like you have said that.
Yeah, I think it's a really important moment happening this year with, the Genius Act, really greenlighting stable coins, and then Project Crypto, which is Wall Street moving on to the blockchain. I think it's a lot like 1971 when the U.S. dollar went off the gold standard. That created the innovation of Wall Street because they had to sort of essentially create this synthetic dollar. Wall Street moving on to the blockchain is a bigger moment, and I think that's why Ethereum is essentially having its 1971 moment equivalent.
But a lot of people just see it as wild speculation and froth.
I'd say anytime something goes up, people tend to call it froth. I think they called AI a frothy trade now, but we know it has a lot of legs, and it's been taking place for a couple years. Keep in mind, Ethereum is also the place where when agentic AI comes together, when you have robots and you want proof of human, you want to make sure those commands come from, a verified source. That's all taking place on a smart contract. A lot of it will be Ethereum.
Tom, thank you. We just scratched the surface on that one, but we'll have you back very soon, no doubt. Tom Lee.